very good evening, participants. Welcome to another open house webinar on safer participation of retail investors in algorithmic trading, where the circular references are 67858 dated 5th of May 2025 and circular number 69255 dated 22nd July 2025. Both the circulars speak respectively about the implementation standards and the operational modalities. Today, what we are going to do is we are going to explain the concepts. We have already received multiple queries from members, out of which we'll be covering it through the Q&A session at the end of today's webinar. And if further time permits, then we would invite you to type your questions in the Q&A tab also if you have already not submitted the questions or it is not already addressed with. If time permits, we'll take those questions also. To cover today's open house webinar and to explain the modalities for the caption topic, I have with me my colleagues from Investigation Department, Mr. Manish Dev and Mr. Breshwar Chatterjee. I am Jwalant Gandhi. Now, without a further ado, I'd like to request Manish to take over from here to explain the concepts, and later on we'll cover the Q&A. Manish, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Jwalant. Thanks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on safer participation for retail algorithmic trading. Sorry. So what I'll just give you a brief on how the chronology has been. On 4th of February, SEBI came up with a circular regarding the safer participation of retail investors in algorithmic trading. After that, they had in that specific circular, they had instructed the exchanges to frame the implementation standards with ISF. And also after that, they wanted us to issue the detailed operational modalities for this specific framework. Now, the exchange issued a circular on 5th of May regarding safer implementation, implementation standards for retail algo on 5th of May. Whereas this specific implementation standards document was discussed extensively in the ISF meetings and then it was finalized. After that, recently we have issued on 22nd July a circular in which we have covered the entire operational modalities and basically what is the procedure of registering and empanelment of algo providers. We have touched upon these topics and we have also shared the process as well as what are the documents that are required and specifically other requirements. So we will cover both of these circulars, but our focus or priority will be the latest circular that has been issued on 22nd of July. So beginning with that, I'll take you through the circular and the entire procedure, how we have envisaged. So and to give you another insight, so this specific procedure has also been discussed with other exchanges and we have also sought SEBI guidance wherever required. Yeah. So as I had mentioned, 5th of May, we came up with implementation standards. And what is an algo order to begin with? So algo order as per the SEBI circular are orders generated using automatic execution logic. Simple, that is the definition of algo order. Now, these are the 1.3. These are the basic requirements that the regulator, that is SEBI, wanted us to cover, which we have covered in this specific document in the circular dated 22nd of July. Now, all of this, like say roles of responsibilities of brokers, risk management, then registration process of algos, then data flow, all of these topics have been covered in this specific circular. Now, beginning with the revised framework for identification. The NNF framework or the identification has been provided in the tables, we also came up with a corrigendum to this because this was revised a little later. Now, basically, so in this case, we have here it is the platform or the type of order, then whether algo is allowed to that platform, what should be the NNF ID, and what are the 13-digit validations. So in case of CTCL, DMA and client direct API, algo is allowed. And we have also mentioned the NNF ID and 13-digit validations. In fact, you can refer to these NNF IDs and 13-digit validations in the corrigendum itself. So same is the case with 2.2. We have covered this in the corrigendum, which we came up afterwards. So now we have for retail algo orders or API orders, we have a new categorization, which will be 12 times 4, meaning client direct API category, and algo ID registration with NNF. So 12 times 1, that is IBT, IBT, and 12 times 3, that is STWT. These will not be allowed for algo ID registration. Now, we have also mentioned the levels or what are the various levels categories under which we will be registering all the products and strategies. Now, first level category is front end. What is the front end type? In this case, it will be client direct API. Then second level category is the developer. Developer will be either the vendor or algo provider, then trading member in-house, tech savvy retail investor beyond OPS threshold, and tech savvy retail investor within the OPS threshold. If you remember, OPS threshold is set at 10 because that was what was decided in the implementation standards in discussions with ISF. Now, third level category would be either a dealer of a trading member or client. Then fourth level category is white box or black box, which was also specifically mentioned in the SEBI circular, and it has been clearly specified as to what would constitute a white box algo and what would be a black box. Now, fifth level category is the strategy type. So the strategy types, that is execution, TWAP and VWAP. These will be covered under the white box broader category, and under black box there will be arbitrage, alpha seeking, high frequency scalping and others. So in case of black box algos, there is a specific requirement of research analyst certification. And so what is the basic difference between white box and black box? White box is which is replicable and the logic is disclosed, whereas in case of black box, it is not replicable and the logic is not disclosed to the user. So for tech savvy retail, for tech savvy client category, the trading member needs to disclose PAN and UCC as reported by the trading member in UCI portal of the exchange. Then member will, while registering, these 5 levels should be disclosed. These 5 level categories should be disclosed to the exchange. So coming to the definition of algo provider, who is an algo provider? Algo provider, as per the SEBI circular, is any fintech or vendor providing algo facility through the usage of API. So now we have defined client direct API as 12 times 4. So what is the chronology to be followed for registration of algo? Now, uh, basically, first, the requirement is that for an algo provider, uh, he needs to be empaneled with the exchange at the first level. So there would be basically three categories, or there would be various levels at which this procedure will be undertaken. One is empanelment of vendor. Now, one would be already empaneled vendors who are already empaneled with the exchanges. So in those cases, new empanelment is not required. Fresh empanelment is not required. Then there would be new algo provider empanelment. So the vendors who want to, or algo providers who want to empanel with the exchange for providing algo, they will empanel subject to fulfillment of criteria and submission of all the documents specified. Then in case of trading members, it will be an in-house kind of arrangement, and empanelment will not be required. So after that, after the empanelment, the next level would be registration of algo product, and at the third level, it would be application and registration for algo strategy through a trading member. Now, and grant of algo ID by the exchange. Now, the strategy, remember, will only be registration would only be done by the trading member. Coming to the, so this procedure in detail, I will cover subsequently because I'm going by the flow of the circular. Now, turnaround time. What is the turnaround time? So specifically, SEBI had mentioned that exchanges will uh, have a shorter turnaround time to register certain types of algos. That is, for example, execution algos, which will be on a fast track basis, while others can be on a normal basis. So for empanelment of so I'll come to the turnaround time for various procedures. One is for, say, empanelment of algo provider with the exchange. The turnaround time is T plus 30 working days from receipt of the complete application. And if there is any application that will, if we want any further, what our team generally does is once we receive the documents, we will go through them. We will have a verification of those documents. If there is anything further that is required, we generally communicate to the applicant, and based on that, we then so there might be some to and fro that would be happening in such cases. Now, the turnaround time is T plus 30 working days from receipt of complete application. Then for processing of application for registration of algos from algo provider, so or empaneled vendors or trading members. So for normal cases, it has been defined as T plus 10 working days, whereas in case of execution algos, as suggested by SEBI, we have decided a faster turnaround time of T plus 7 working days. And this is the maximum time which we will take to process or register. Coming to the empanelment process of algo providers. Now, in case of algo provider, first they will have to get empaneled. If you look at the SEBI circular, which was issued on 4th of February, there is specific requirement that though SEBI does not have any jurisdiction on the algo providers as such, they will have to empanel with the mandatorily they will empanel with the exchange, and only the trading members will deal only with the empaneled algo providers. Now, they should so algo providers will submit the documents with the exchanges, whatever we have stipulated. So there is an empanelment undertaking, application form, and we have given certain criteria, and there are certain certification requirements which I will come to, and there are few queries on that aspect also. Then the registration for algorithmic trading software, which is of course a separate process. Now, once we get all the documents and all the documents are in order, we decide to empanel the algo provider, and after the registration happens, we will allot a vendor code to the algo provider. And we will also issue a circular and update the list of algo providers on the NSE website. Now there can be an independent commercial arrangement between the members and the algo providers. Now coming to product registration. So in case of algo provider, what are the steps that are required? One is empanelment. That is the basic first step which an algo provider has to perform. Then the algo provider will register register his product with the exchange, the URL, and provide various documents like auditor certificate, write up on RMS, product name, password policy, etc. Now, during this, they will also provide the documents which we have mentioned. In case of white box, we will request for a write up, whereas in case of black box algo, we will require, as stipulated by SEBI, research analyst certification in the name of the algo provider. Similarly, we will also take or seek undertaking that the detailed report of trades generated has been maintained and will be reproduced as and when requested. Now, we will also have or obtain an undertaking that will say that they will be renewing the RA certificate prior to the expiry. In short, they will be RA certified at all points of time. Plus, there will be an undertaking that in case there are any changes to the algo post registration, there will be a requirement of re-registration. So these are the basic algo product registration steps to be undertaken by the algo provider. So there are basically two steps. One is empanelment and then product registration. Coming to existing empaneled vendors, as I have already mentioned that no separate empanelment is required since the vendors are already empaneled with the exchange. They will also have to, if they are desirous of extending their API to the members, then they will have to submit a registration request. Now, in this case, they will have to get their provide various documents related to what is the product name along with the write-up, and also mention what are the features and functionalities. Say password policy, version, segments that are supported, what is the market data dissemination, orders and trade management. So these are various requirements in relation to the product, the registration. We will also seek some write-up on what is the RMS implemented and also maintenance of audit trail and transaction logs, as well as the auditor certificate. So in this case also the basic step is that in case of existing empaneled vendors, they will have to register their algo product with the exchange and submit the documents that have been mentioned. And similarly, in case of first category, that is algo provider, we will seek write-up on basic risk management and auditor certificate. In case of black box, however, we will seek a registration certificate as research analyst and the specific undertakings that were also mentioned. Coming to trading members. So trading member, in case of trading members, we would say that it is an in-house category. So brokers who are desirous of providing API services to investors, they are required to submit a request for API registration for products which are developed in-house or through empaneled vendor. So this would identify that the member is using API interface for providing facility to the client. Now, in terms of documentation, we will require an undertaking from the trading member, detailed RMS document and product write-up, and algo audit certificate, and system audit for API. Now, trading members will also have to register their algo product. What is the type of algo to be provided by the trading member? It would be white box or black box, and the requirements are basically same as the categories which were covered above. That is for algo provider as well as existing empaneled vendor. Now, in this case, we will seek, in case of white box, we will seek write-up on basic risk management and also the auditor certificate. So the formats have also been mentioned in various annexes. So you can go through those. I'm sure most of you would have gone through those formats. In case of black box, however, we require the registration certificate, RA registration certificate, write up on RMS and auditor certificate, and the undertakings. Yeah, so we come to algo strategy registration now. So first step is empanelment, then product registration, and then the third would be algo strategy registration. Now, who will register the strategy, algo strategy? It would be, in all cases, it would be the trading member. So in any case, so it can be in-house, it can be developed by algo providers or existing empanel vendors. The trading member will be the only point of contact for the algo strategy registration part. So currently it was through CTCL and DMA. So now we will also be extending client direct API as a category. So there was one question in case of tech savvy retail investor within or outside threshold. So the exemption for registration applies only to tech savvy retail investor category, which is within the threshold of OPS, that is 10. Otherwise, in any other case, all other cases rather, the registration would be compulsory. Now, coming to algo strategy registration, in this specific categorization, we have already 5 level categories we have already mentioned, we have already covered. So in case in case of members extending their API through client direct API category, we would also require API setup name, API version number, and API registration date. Now, once we get all the documents and all the requirements are satisfactory, then we will allot an algo ID to the trading member. So when after processing, if the documents are found satisfactory, we will generate a unique algo ID, which will be shared with the trading member. And so suppose it is say vendor A and strategy X, and there is a specific trading member XYZ who has registered that algo strategy with the exchange. Now, if that same strategy for the same any other trading member wants to operationalize, then that trading member coming for the second time for the same strategy and same vendor or algo provider, they will just quote the strategy ID and then it will be operationalized. So in this case, what we are doing is that we will not generate separate strategy ID for the same client, same vendor and same strategy. If that is the case, the same strategy ID will be allotted to the trading member, to the next trading member who comes to approaches us for registration. Then for orders being sent beyond 10 OPS, members are required to register the algos developed by clients as per the process. So if there is a tech-savvy retail client and OPS threshold is beyond say 10, beyond 10, then registration would be required and unique algo ID will be assigned. So another point which is important to note is that below the threshold OPS, the orders will be treated as algorithmic orders itself, and there will be a generic algo ID which is 5 times 9, which will have to be sent by the trading members, and the 13 digit of the 15 digit NNF ID will be 0. Now, what are the registration documents to be submitted by the trading member? So auditor report, auditor certificate, vendor confirmation letter in case of empaneled vendor or algo provider. And in case of in-house developed algo by trading member, auditor report, auditor certificate, strategy write-up, and RMS write-up. If the algo is developed by the client, auditor certificate, strategy write-up, and RMS write-up will be required. One another point to be noted is that the members who are desirous of providing services through algo provider or API, they need to fulfill the base minimum capital requirement as per which are applicable for category 4, that is all trading members brokers with algo. So in the SEBI circular, it has been mentioned that the exchanges would provide for, or they should suggest what are the, or they should mandate what are the scenarios wherein re-registration would be required. So these are the various circumstances mentioned over here in section 9, wherein re-registration would be required by trading members for algos. Say change in logic governing algos, change in OMS RMS, addition of segment or version change, exchange mandated changes, implementation of new SEBI circular, changes in policy of login and password management, changes in URL for providing algos, change in API. Yeah, These are the various circumstances. So in case of black box, it is to be noted that no modification will be allowed, and the algo provider will be required to apply for fresh registration in case logic governing the algo is changed. So in case of section 10, these are the various operational specifications for providing API algo provider facility, and what are the roles and responsibilities of brokers in this specific framework for retail algo. So I will not spend much time on these. These requirements have already been mentioned in the implementation, covered in the implementation standards also. Similar is the case with risk management. There are the RMS checks, 16 RMS checks which are required. Those have been mentioned over here. When we come to testing of software, so there will be a requirement for all registered retail algos to participate in mock or simulation on a monthly basis, and they can avail simulated environment which has already been mentioned in NSE Consolidated Circular dated April 28, 2025. So coming to point number 13, confidentiality of retail algo strategies, including confidentiality clauses, non-disclosure agreements, encrypted submissions, etc. Retail algo strategies are of various types, as already mentioned, white box and black box. So we have already touched upon these points that wherever algos, the logic is disclosed and replicable, those are execution, whereas algos where logic is not known to the user and is not replicable, those are black box. In case of black box, there is specific requirement that research analyst registration is required, and detailed research report should be maintained for each algo, and a confirmation should be provided to the exchanges that such report has been maintained. And another main requirement is that if there is any change in the logic governing the algo will be registered as a fresh algo, and a detailed research report should be maintained. Wherever algo is developed by tech-savvy client, the entire responsibility of logic of the strategy and RMS requirement will be ensured by the tech-savvy client himself or herself. And coming to data flow between algo provider, broker, and the exchange. So trading member will be responsible for the orders placed through any algos or otherwise. Broker will be responsible to ensure that data of clients does not flow beyond their servers and confidentiality is maintained at all times. So brokers are also responsible for outsourcing guidelines which have been specified by SEBI from time to time. Then all provisions of system audit, cybersecurity, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, and inspection related requirements would be applicable similar to the current framework, and this will also apply to retail algos. Then the last part is the additional documents required in relation to the registration process. So this covers our entire circular, which related to detailed operational modalities, dated 22nd July 2025. We come to the implementation standards part. So I'll share my screen for, yeah. So this was our earlier circular issued on 5th of May. And these were the.
Manish, sorry to interrupt. If you can just zoom in the screen so that participant can read it properly.
Yeah, sure, sure. Is it okay now, Jwalant?
Yeah, better, better. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So as already mentioned, these are implementation standards which were framed along with the ISF. So section A, what I will do is, in the interest of time, I will cover these only on only broadly, and then maybe if you have any queries, we can take those queries. So
Sure.
these are the So these are the API access standards which have been mentioned. So the basic requirement is that brokers or trading members need to provide API access to trading systems, and clients must mandatorily provide a static IP address which will be mapped to the API keys, and which will help connect to brokers trading platform through this API. Now, the client may either give only one static IP address, which is primary, or provide additional static IP address, which is secondary, for the purpose of connectivity redundancy. So there can be two static IP. One is primary and the other is secondary. Then multiple API keys can be given to the same client for connecting to different segments, running different algos, etc. When the client takes facility of multiple API keys, each API key may be mapped to the same primary or secondary static IPs of that client only, or may have separate primary, secondary static IPs for each of the multiple API keys. Now, when clients have taken multiple API keys, brokers will ensure that non-registered algos. So there needs to be there can be a segregation which would say that non-registered algos are run through one of the predefined API keys, and the other API keys can be used only for registered algos. So static IP requirement is mandatory, and so we have also mentioned that which will be the IP. So in case of client generated algos, the static IP shall be that of the client. In case of algos generated via empaneled algo providers, static IP shall be that of the vendor or the client. Similarly, for broker generated algos, the static IP shall be that of either the broker or the client. Then clients will have ability to update their mapped static IP address as needed, but not more than once a calendar week. So one important point to be noted is that a static IP can be only mapped to one client at a time. However, static IPs can be shared by clients with their family. And this, the definition of family is as per the SEBI circular dated 3rd of December 2024. So there was a question that whether it can be shared within the same office. The answer is no, because it is not covered under this specific definition. And this is as per the SEBI circular dated 4th of February. So in this case, the procedure is simple. The client will provide a return request or email from registered email and request using 2FA validation to the broker for sharing the static IP to such family as has been defined. All API sessions will be compulsorily logged out every day before start of next trading day. Now we come to the standards around APIs without registering algo. As I have already mentioned, the threshold OPS is currently 10, not exceeding 10 orders per second, and it may be adjusted at a later date and after, of course, due notice to the market. And it will be so this will be it is initially set at 10, but there may be a decision afterwards that it can be revised based on experience, etc. Yeah, there are various order types which stock exchanges may specify, and those would be restricted. So trading members need to take note of such order types. Also, the orders which one is that another important point that should be noted is that API can be used only for algo, and so in case of tech savvy retail clients also below the threshold OPS, whatever orders have been placed, or they will be treated as algo orders itself. They will be tagged as algos. However, they will not require registration, and a generic algo ID will be provided by the exchange. So if the broker requires or receives any orders that uh, exceed the threshold limit, the broker will have to reject or not accept or not process any orders exceeding the OPS limit, and they need to frame a policy on this aspect. Further, all the trading members providing API connectivity should have capability to monitor effectively the threshold OPS limits, especially for algos which do not require registration. So coming to section D, broker generated algos. So these are in-house algos, and the trading members can also offer various algos to their client. And the procedure for registering and obtaining the algo strategy ID I have already mentioned in this case. So one important point to be noted is regarding tech savvy retail investors is that tech savvy retail investors will also include such retail investors who get the algos developed through third parties or others. Coming to section E, algos provided by algo provider. Now, as I have already covered, the algo providers shall be empaneled with the exchange. They will register the products with the exchange, and I have already explained or touched upon what the procedure would be for algo strategy ID. Threshold OPS, we have already covered that. Currently it is 10. Algo ID tagging also we have covered in detail. Operational specifications touched upon. So yeah, basically this is all about the implementation standards and also the procedure for registering the uh, empanelment and registration of algorithms with the exchange.
Sure.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Jolan.
Manish,
So
for crisp pointer-based explanation that you have given. I believe that many of the queries which were priorly received and which are put in the Q&A tab by the participants are already addressed through the explanation. We have a list of queries with us, so quickly we'll try to cover as many as possible. The very first is in case of the order per second, which is OPS set by the member is less than 10 OPS, and such order are routed through an algo platform via strategies provided by research analyst. Is it still mandatory for the algo platform or strategy to be registered and empaneled with the exchange?
can you repeat this, please?
Okay, so in case of OPS set by the member is less than 10 OPS, and such orders are routed through an algo platform via strategies provided by RAs, which is research analysts. Is it still mandatory for the algo platform or strategy to be registered and empaneled?
Yes, yes. So except the tech savvy retail investor category, uh, so wherein if the OPS threshold or OPS is below 10, there is an exemption in that specific category for registration of algo. In all other categories, even if it is below 10, then that then the registration would be required.
Okay. Next is, will retail clients be allowed to use third-party algo platforms like Multithread, Greeksoft, Symphony, or such vendors to execute their strategies?
No,
Basically, the third-party platforms.
no, they will not do.
Okay. Next is, algo platforms are required to empanel with exchange brokers to Okay, so basically the question is not proper, but let me try to reframe it. So what the person is trying to ask is whether they are required to inform exchanges about onboarding or discontinuing of platforms where algo empanelment was done with exchange. Do they need to inform such kind of discontinuation or any violations, if any?
Mm, discontinuation of registration.
Yes,
Oh,
it seems so, though the question is not clear, but it seems so. If we are not clear, then we may move to next question.
yeah, we can move to next.
Okay, the next question is what is the restriction of the number of family members and how to be proved that this is a family account?
So there is no restriction which has been mentioned, but family should be as per the definition, and uh, it is currently so it has been specifically mentioned in the SEBI circular as to who will
Okay.
be the. Yeah.
Okay, probably you have covered the next question, but if a client trades on TradingView using broker APIs, but executes trades manually, which is without automation, will this be classified as algo trading under NSE guidelines?
No, because it is not automated order execution in this specific case. If you look at the definition, if it is automated order execution, then it is treated as algo order.
Okay, next one is if a client receives auto-generated signals or recommendations from RA platform, but places trades manually with the order placement being executed via API. Will such activity be classified as algo trading?
See, first thing is that APIs should only be used for algorithmic trading, and no manual order can be placed. That is one. And the for the first part, the answer is similar. If it amounts to order execution which is automated, only then it will be treated as algo order.
Understood. Next one is can one SEBI registered RA registered multiple algos across different firms?
This
Uh,
point, yeah, I think it is possible. This can be done.
So shall I repeat? The person is asking that there is one SEBI registered RA. Can he across different entities or different firms register multiple algos?
So in this cases, RA themselves do not have to register any algo or something. It is the trading member that needs to register the algo product, algo strategy.
Okay. Next is there any regulatory or exchange level monitoring mechanism in place of, I mean, in respect to retail algos?
Yes, we will be monitoring.
Okay. Somebody is asking about if any charges are applicable for empanelment of vendors and registration of algo by vendors.
Yes, so the charges part, we will let you know in due course. It will be communicated.
Okay. But through circulars or something, it will be communicated separately, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now somebody is specifically referring to a clause 9.5, asking to confirm if re-registration, I repeat, re-registration of their existing registered algo is needed, or if the requirement pertains to algo registered after the introduction of this circular only.
So in this section 9, it specifically relates to the one freshly registered algo.
Okay.
So after the framework is implemented, once the algo strategy is registered, and if there are any changes, what are those circumstances in which re-registration would be required? That has been covered under section 9 of the circular.
Mapping can be done.
Okay.
Uh,
Now
in other
connection,
cases, if we are migrating from to the retail API or direct API framework, then a mapping can be done. Mapping process.
okay, now in connection to circular 69289, point 2.2 table, value of 13 digit, where 7 is written, that is what the person is referring for the question, basket orders for institutional trading. So he's asking, is basket order to be tagged as per the revised NNF guidelines, or is it same? I mean, if it is applicable for retail segments, since the circular is addressed for retail investors only.
No, it's same. It's same.
Okay. The next is okay. For black box strategies, can sub strategies, which is strategies under strategies, can sub strategies run under same registered algo ID?
So it is on case to case basis. Actually, we will have to look at what the sub strategies mean and how do they operate. Once we come to know, we will be able to comment on that.
Okay. Then next is okay. Can the same strategy name or version be used across multiple categories or not? And will the algo ID remain same or it will be different?
Yes, that is what we have mentioned. So if it is the same vendor and the same strategy, uh, and different trading members need to operationalize that same strategy from the same vendor, then they can do that. So it will be the same algo ID that will be allotted.
Next is if the same algo logic is deployed via API, CTCL, DMA, etc., whether separate registration is required or only single will be okay.
So the question is,
if the same algo logic is deployed via API, CTCL, DMA, which is direct market access, etc., so whether they require separate registration for each of the modes or a single would be okay.
yes, single would be okay because only the platform would be different, whereas the strategy would be same in all cases.
Yes, he has specifically mentioned same algo logic deployed.
Yes. It will be a single registration, not multiple.
Okay, again, probably you have covered, but person is asking for tech-savvy retail investors where OPS is less than equal to 10. Which protocol should be used? DMA, CTCL, I mean, etc. Which protocol to be used?
It will be client direct API. 12 times
Okay.
4.
Okay. Now another person is asking, can one strategy ID be used across multiple brokers?
Yes, yes. It can be done. It will be
Okay.
done in fact.
Now again, another person is asking, what happens if algo is misclassified between white box and black box? There can be possibility of the same, and he's asking if such thing happens, if any penalty is applicable, and whether they will be requiring to re-register or not.
So misclassification you are saying. So
Yes, yes. So
misclassification.
probably he is saying that he wanted to keep it as a black box approval, and then by mistake he selected white box. Whether any penalty is there in such cases or not, and whether the re-registration process will be carried.
Yeah. So there are provisions, penal provisions, and there is a surveillance circular which can be referred to in this case.
If you can just mention a tentative date or any supporting details about the circular, if you have
Yeah,
handy.
just let me check. Just let me check. Just
Sure. Till that time, I'll just go to the next question. So do they have to disclose the full logic of the strategy for the approval?
So white box. Yeah, in case of white box, it is required, and we seek a write up for this specific while registering. Whereas in case of black box, it is not required. Because it is not known, not disclosed.
Okay. Now next is if algo software allows client to design algos using predefined parameters, will the platform itself be treated as an algo platform? Will such algos be treated as client algos or broker algos? And the last question related to that is, will exchange approval be required or not? And if it is required, how since client can change them, what will happen?
So I'll answer the last question first. Registration will be required. Can you repeat the first two questions?
Yes, yes, I'll repeat. So basically, he's asking if algo software is allowing clients to design algos using predefined parameters, right? So
Correct.
will the platform itself be treated as an algo platform or not? That is first question.
Yes, it will be treated.
Okay. Second is, will such algos be treated as client algos or broker algos?
Those will be broker algos.
Okay. And the last thing he asked is related to approval, which you said it will be required because he has concern that because it is related to predefined parameters, clients can change those parameters and accordingly, it may be possible that algo may change or the logic may change.
Yes, that's right. So if it is not a logic that is not replicable, so it will be treated as a black box algo and provisions of black box will apply.
Okay. Next question is if an algo is to be used on multiple exchanges, will approval from all exchanges be required or one exchange approval will be okay?
No. If the approval will be separately sought from each exchange.
Okay, and in connection to that, he is asking if one exchange is rejecting and another is approving, what is the recourse?
No, so they will have to check the reasons for rejection. There can be
With the respective exchange where it is getting
with the
rejected.
respective, yeah. And coming to the sorry, if we are done with this question, I can come to the reference number which you are asking.
Yes, please.
So it is a 27th June 2023 circular, and reference number is 57315.
Great, thanks. Next question is if a vendor is providing algo platform to multiple brokers, should he take approval every time with every broker he is registered? I mean, dealing with?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
A vendor is there who is providing algo platforms to multiple brokers. Now, should he take the approval for each broker?
No, that would not be required.
That would not be required. Okay. Now coming to some more questions. Can algo orders be placed using mobile or web application of the broker? And if yes, can broker host in-house or vendor-based algo or link to vendors whitelist URL on mobile or web application. So the first question is, can algo orders be placed using mobile or web application of broker?
The answer is no.
Okay, then I guess second question doesn't stay.
So
Uh,
now we have already mentioned that if it is say IBT and STWT through that route, retail algo orders will not be allowed. Whereas the orders need to come through the new category that is 12 times 4, which is API, direct API.
Okay. Next question is, can registered algo vendors deploy and manage approved algorithms on their own cloud?
See, this is a point which is under discussion with SEBI also, but uh, all the orders in any case should go through the broker's infrastructure, which has been mandated.
Okay. Okay. Then next question is, okay, if the broking is making its own algo, then does it require to get RA license also?
Yes, would be required if a black box algo is being offered, then in that case, RA certificate would be required.
Okay. Next question is, if the broking is offering algo trading using API, then how will the static IP process work?
It has been mentioned in the implementation standards. Static IP is a basic requirement in case of extending if API is being extended. But we have already covered that in the first section itself of implementation standards.
Okay, sure. Next question is a scenario based, example based question. Is there a limit on OPS on the IBT? I mean, he's giving an example. Suppose a user in half an hour builds up a position of 30 plus different scripts and he wants to square it off. So do they need to make sure that less than 10 orders only go per second?
No, if it is a registered algo,
Hmm.
then about 10, it should be registered as an algo. I'm not sure whether an
He
algo
has
order
not
would be.
mentioned specifically whether it is registered one or not. He has just given an illustration saying that if there is a limit on the OPS on the IBT.
No, there is no specific IBT limit, OPS limit that has been mentioned. So I don't know. I'm not very clear about this question.
No, no worries, no worries. So we may ask the person who has posed the question to just write to the department, and if possible, we'll come back with answer. And meanwhile, Manish, if there is any coordinates where they can write, if you can just mention so that wherever we are not clear, they can just write to us. Is there any coordinate where they can write?
Yes, there are two email IDs basically where you can write. One is invg@nsc.co.in
Okay.
and the other one is msm.
@nsc.co.in. So participants, just take note of it. So wherever questions either are not clear and you want to further elaborate, you can write to them, or else further queries also you can just post over there. Next question, Manish, is arbitrage and scalping should be categorized under white box section also. Probably it is kind of a suggestion.
No, we have already got this suggestion, but actually the thing is that there can be various types of arbitrage and also where the strategy may not be replicable and the logic may not be disclosed. So in that for that reason, it has been included under black box.
Okay. Next person is asking about the NDAs to be taken from vendor or client. He's asking if there is any specific format for the same.
NDAs from our end, we may not be able to comment. It is between the broker and the algo provider.
Okay. Okay, next is Okay, again, more or less on the similar line, but just to re-clarify for everybody, the person is asking if the algo provider is the strategy creator or the technology platform.
The strategy creator.
Is the strategy creator.
Okay. Can the broker on their order window provide VWAP or TWAP, which is execution algo, because the order is originating from IBT, but IBT does not allow algo orders?
No, I'm not clear about this. Can you please repeat?
So the person again has not clearly mentioned, and probably he's the same person. So we request the participant to write to the email IDs. We'll move to the next question.
No,
Probably.
what has been written? Can you just repeat that?
Okay. So can the broker on their order window provide VWAP or TWAP, which is execution algos, because the order is originating from IBT, but IBT does not allow algo orders?
Hey, they have to be client directly.
Yeah, it should be through the client direct API category only.
Okay.
If it is given as a API, it should be client direct.
If it is given as API, it should be through client direct API.
Sure. Next question is, how would we take approvals for a setup where clients automate technical indicator signals coming from charting platforms to place orders?
That is an algo image, sir.
It's an algo. It will be treated as an
To be
algo
registered.
and needs to be registered with the exchange.
Okay. Again, next question is specific, platform specific, but let's try to address. So if someone is using Bloomberg terminal, what will be the 13th digit code in that case? Because it doesn't come under any of the things mentioned in the circular.
For what Bloomberg terminal, not clear what it is being used for.
Okay, then probably we may skip to the next question. Those members who are already provided API to retail client, by when they will have to register with exchange? So basically some members who have already provided API to retail clients.
API to retail clients. What we need to do is we will be migrating from API to the new category current. So we will be mapping those specific which have already been registered. So they can send us a request and we will take care of those requests.
Okay. Another participant is just asking to confirm if there is any reason for not supporting non-algo order via API. Because he mentions that provision for API is for algo trading as per SEBI circular, which we have conveyed. So he just wants to understand if there is any specific reason for not allowing.
So this is what is as per what SEBI has mandated. That is one. Second, there has been so implementation standards have been we have discussed this point, and in the implementation standards part we had discussed with ISF also, and there was a decision that only algo orders would be provided to API.
Okay. Now again, in connection to OPS through IBT, a person is asking there should technically be limit on OPS in IBT as well. Otherwise, any tech savvy user could use the API of the IBT and start hitting the orders.
No, can you repeat that?
Okay, so there should technically be limit on the OPS in IBT also. Otherwise, he has concerns that any tech savvy user could use the API of the IBT and start hitting the orders.
That won't be allowed because it's a front
end
broker.
In any case, that would not be allowed.
It is a front end of the broker.
Okay. One participant is asking on which portal the RA has to apply for algo provider empanelment.
No, so currently we are developing the system and empanelment process is in any case vendor empanelment is we call for physical documents currently. So for empanelment, they will have to write to us and share the physical set of documents. Hard
Okay.
copies.
One participant is raising concern just to confirm if exchange can share algo strategy to any entities like SEBI, other exchanges or vendors.
No, of course not. We do not have any access. It's just that in case of execution where it is known, we seek a write-up. Otherwise, we don't have any access to the logic, etc.
Okay, now participant is asking if the product registration is required in case of the product where it is consuming the open API provided by the broker. In
Open
such
API,
cases, whether product registration is required.
Open API is not allowed as per the implementation standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is a person is asking which are the auditors. I mean, that if there is a list of auditors which are allowed.
I think there are certain criteria for auditor selection, but I think there is something coming up related to empaneled exchange empaneled system auditors. So yeah, maybe we would come to know in some bit.
Okay,
About
so
this.
through subsequent communication, we may come to know about that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But through
But
inspection department, of course, we do not. We are not concerned about auditors as such empanelment.
right.
It is taken care of by inspection.
Okay. Next question is if the algo provider has to be RA, can it still have commercial arrangement with trading members or brokers?
Yes, it can, but subject to whatever has been mentioned under conflict of interest in the RA. So that needs to be seen. This was a point which was raised, but what is the specific concern we need to check if there is any
Okay.
conflict of interest part.
Okay, a person is asking in connection to the documents required. So do the brokers need to collect any other document in case of RA for black box algo like RA certificate, etc. And what if the certificate is revoked or expired midway when the process is going on?
So they need to always ensure that the RA registration is in place, and they need to track the dates, expiry dates, and also they need to safeguard themselves that maybe they can seek an undertaking from the RA itself.
Okay. Does every RA who wants to provide the strategies have to have their own platform?
No, nowhere this has been mentioned.
Okay. Can same public IP be used with multiple clients sitting in same office, irrespective them being in the same family? So they are not in the same family. There are multiple clients sitting in the same office. Can same public IP be used?
No, this is not allowed as was mentioned because they do not fall under the definition of family.
Okay. Will the API credentials be shared by the clients with the algo vendor?
Sorry, come again.
Will the API credentials be shared by the clients with their algo vendor?
In what circumstances? I don't think they should be sharing.
It seems to be incomplete question. We'll be moving to the next one. Is there any fee for vendor registration? Probably related to charges. You mentioned that there might be subsequent
Separate
communication, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, then. Okay, there is one question. What is batch upload?
It is a feature which is provided by CTCL.
Okay, must be related to that. He has not provided any other info. Moving to next one. For existing empaneled OMS providers, what would be the procedure for registering system APIs?
System APIs.
Yes.
No, I am not very sure about this.
Okay, so we'll request participant to write further details to the email IDs in case he wants to get the clarification. Okay, moving to next. Under the product registration framework, should black box strategies be treated as standalone products requiring exchange approval, or do they need to be routed and approved only through the broker side?
No, in case of, I didn't get that.
He's asking for the product registration, should black box strategies be treated as standalone products requiring exchange approval, or they need to be routed and approved only through the broker side?
So in all case, it is the process is that strategies need to be uh, registered by the trading members, whereas products will be registered by, say, if it is in-house, it will be registered by the trading member. If it is an existing empaneled vendor, the existing empaneled vendor will register the product. And if it is an algo provider, the algo provider will register the product. So product registration will be by respective category, whereas the algo strategy needs to be registered only by the trading member.
Okay. Next is in connection to the clause reference number 8.2.1.1.1. Participant is asking the member fronted registration, can it be IBT in related to this clause?
Let me just check that. 8.2.1.1.1, right?
Yes.
That is first level category. Yes, yes.
Okay, so it can be IBT for front end
No,
registration.
it cannot be IBT. It needs to be API.
Okay, no, so he has specifically asked whether it can be IBT.
It can.
No, it cannot be IBT.
Okay. Then the next question is, how can I choose client direct API as front end when process to get client direct API front end is not provided?
So copy manual, application manual.
Currently, the application process is manual.
So once they
So
approach,
once they approach and get registered, then
we will provide.
after that we will provide the registration itself.
Okay. Next is just because there are many repeated questions, so I'm just skimming through it. Okay, somebody is asking, I'm not too sure whether you will be able to address or not, but somebody is asking how fintech partners like small case, tokens, finance, and other option trading platforms like such will be impacted through this.
We do not know about that.
Should I move to next question, Manish?
No. So if the provisions apply to the so if it falls under algo in any case and there is an automated order execution, in that case the provisions of this framework will apply.
Okay.
And then a registration requirement will also be there.
Okay, participants will be taking few more questions up till 6 p.m. as then after we'll be running short of time. So we'll try to cover still as many as possible from the here on. Next question is, if an algo strategy is already approved and in use for CTCL and DMA, is there a way to just update the required details for client direct API?
Yes.
Approaches will be agreement.
Yeah. We so in this case, you can write to us. We will map it to the API category.
Okay. Next question, person is asking if any algo strategies are there which are created using the no code strategy builders. Do they require to have the separate algo ID or common algo ID would be okay?
No, I didn't get that question.
So there are some strategies that they have created using no code strategy builders, no code strategy builder platforms. Now,
Okay.
he is asking if there will be separate algo ID requirement or a common algo ID would be assigned to this.
No, separate algo ID would be required.
Okay. Next is related to the TAT. The current TAT of T+7 and T+10 for algo registration is too long and should be shortened. That is a feedback given by the participant.
Yeah, actually, if you see, we are doing earlier than that, but we also need some kind of we need to define that specific tag. But however, we are doing earlier. That this is the maximum time, of course, which has been mentioned as turnaround time.
Okay. Next is related to if the trading member wants to offer the algo using client API, what will be the static IP requirement and will the static IP while giving the API remains the same or not?
This has already been mentioned in the implementation standards. So static IP would be required, and there would be the API keys would be offered by the trading member. And
okay. Next question is again related to TAT. So somebody is asking whether the TAT for re-registration of the same strategy will be the same or it will be different.
It will be same. It will be same.
It will be same. Okay. Still, there are multiple repeated questions, so we are just skipping it, participants, because they are already answered. Okay, what if the algo providers do not get empaneled with exchanges within the deadline? Should the broker suspend the integration until empanelment? I mean the platform registration and algo approvals which are in place. I mean, basically is asking if when algo provider is not getting empaneled within deadline, what will happen?
So they need to they can only start using this framework after the algo provider have been empaneled, because that which is a SEBI requirement. So unless they are empaneled, they cannot start using this specific framework.
Person is asking whether threshold will be applicable for cancel orders also or not.
OPS threshold?
Yes.
Yes.
He has not mentioned, but I'm assuming that is the same.
Yeah, all types will be covered. All types.
Okay, so for cancel orders also it will be covered.
Modifications, cancellations, placement, everything will be covered.
Somebody is asking how to generate the generic algo ID.
Not generic, you come back to resident.
Yeah. So if there is any generic ID, if there is any algo that is below OPS, so in that case, they need to intimate to us. We will to those specific participants, and then they can start using it.
Okay. Another person is asking if all the API orders will be tagged as algo, then will market orders be allowed or not?
No, market orders are not allowed in any case as per the current framework, algo framework, as well as retail algo. Market orders are not allowed.
Okay. For each client, generic algo ID should be separate, or is it the member level generic algo ID applicability?
So generic algo ID only applies to the below threshold limit algo orders, which will be same across members, across participants. Just to identify that this algo order is below OPS, we will identify as 5 times 9, which is the generic algo ID.
Okay. Next question is a little longer. If a tech-savvy client generates orders through APIs, but their order flow remains below threshold OPS limit, which is currently defined as 10 OPS per exchange, can such clients continue using the broker's API directly as they are currently doing without requiring any additional implementation?
Categorized as client direct.
It has to be categorized as client direct API.
Static IP.
For all purposes and with the, of course, with static IP, for all purposes, it will be categorized as algo, but since it is below threshold, it will be won't be required to go through the registration requirements, and generic algo ID will be
Okay,
required.
we'll be quickly taking last two questions. Second last is any call recording to be maintained for all those clients whose orders are going through an algo?
No, I didn't get this question actually.
Whether, I mean, if any call recording is to be maintained by broker for clients whose orders are going through algo. That is what the person is asking.
If the client is directly placing orders through algo, in any case, he won't be calling the trading member. So this it seems something like a contradiction.
Okay. The last question for today will be taking participants. If a client API is approved for a particular FPI, can it be used for their child codes also or not?
If
a client API is approved for a particular FPI client, can it be used for their child codes or not?
हमको strategy का ID होता है, child और उसका client का ID नहीं होता है. Okay.
So in this case, basic is the algo strategy. It can be FPI or child, whatever. The base
ID,
algo ID is some
algo strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess with this, we'd like to conclude the Q&A session. I'd request Manish or Bireshwar if you would like to make any concluding remarks, please.
So thank you, Jwalant. Thank you everyone for this being on this webinar. We have received a lot of queries, and thanks for this specific platform or this webinar so that we could communicate with most of the participants. So hopefully many of the queries would be resolved. However, if there are any questions, if you want to reach out to us, you can do so. You can write to us. And also Jwalant and team, they are also there to support you. So thank you everyone.
Sure. Thanks, Manish, for all the explanations and the answers that you have given for the queries. Still, if any queries are remaining, participants will surely like to reach back through your respective team. And we hope that most of the queries must have been answered through today's Q&A as well as explanatory session. Still, as mentioned by Manish, you can write to both the email IDs if any subsequent queries or any further clarifications are required. We'll keep doing more and more open house webinars, and in case any such topics are required by you as well, you can just write through your respective regional team, and we'll be happy to do that again. Thank you for joining today. Have a great day coming ahead. Thank you.